Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw. Today I'm finally continuing the Iron Maiden discography with, of course, Brave New World. We finally get to see the return of the Iron Maiden that I love and I know that you guys love. So let's jump into Brave New World. As we all know, there are two really important things that happen in between Virtual 11 to now Brave New World. And those two things are Bruce Dickinson, Adrian Smith. This is the greatest comeback ever. And it's not a comeback because they didn't take a hiatus or whatever and they didn't stop a few years and then come back. This is the great comeback of the band that I love. The X Factor with Blaze Bayley, it had its good, it had its great moments, it had its not so good and not so great moments, but overall it was a more positive release than I expected. You know, more positivity on that record than negative. Than Virtual 11. Now, Brave New World. Those two things I just mentioned. Bruce Dickinson, the legendary Bruce Dickinson, and Adrian Smith comes back into the band. Now, Janick Gers could obviously, at this point, leave. Because, you know, they have two guitars now. Adrian comes back. No, they decide to stick with three guitars. Now, from what I understand, majority of fans accept this and have no issue with this. I've seen a couple people, like some comments, say that Janick Gers should just leave because they have the two guitarists back. They don't need to have him as a third person. But what I took away from this three-piece band and what I took away from this album and how it's just so amazing that Bruce Dickinson coming back is a fantastic thing. Bruce Dickinson coming back really needed to happen in order for this band to really rejuvenate and kind of reboot and restart. And the fact that Adrian Smith came back, I think, is a huge bonus, and it really shows throughout this record. Now, all of the songs on this album, I think, are phenomenal in their own way. This album has no bad song. There are a few sections on this album, I will have to say, musical sections, I would not consider bad, but I would say that they are, compared to the majority of this album, kind of in the, it's okay. It's an okay section. It's not fantastic like the majority of this record, but no bad section, no bad songs. It's just a few sections I felt that could have had a little more, but on the big scheme of things, this album is just a phenomenal release. Like I said before, all of the songs in this album I consider to be fantastic tracks. Now I'm going to go through some of my personal favorites, and then we'll get to talking about the majority of this release and why Bruce Dickinson coming back and Adrian Smith being added to the group is a good fit. The Wicker Man. Honestly and truthfully, this song that opens up the album, The Wicker Man, the first minute already destroys Virtual 11 in my personal opinion. The first minute of this track. Not the first track, the first minute. The intro riff, it sounds so great. It just sounds fantastic. It's that classic Maiden feel. And this entire track is just beautiful. Three guitarists, the rest of the band, Bruce Dickinson, helming, and basically being the voice again for Iron Maiden is so, so great. And this song, I think, is a great way to kind of reintroduce fans to Bruce Dickinson back in the band. And to really, you know, bring the fans back and let them hear this monstrous of a song to open up this album. I think it's a great, great pick they did. Ghost of the Navigator. There's two songs I'm going to highly recommend. And The Wicker Man was a good song, but it's not one of the ones I recommend to the highest extent. All the songs I recommend, but the first out of the two is Ghost of the Navigator. This song opens up in a beautiful, beautiful melody, and it's kind of slow. But when we get to the actual rhythm guitars, when we get to the actual distorted guitars, and the actual lead playing of this really slow and melodic and peaceful intro, just let this little melodic piece, do, 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 do. I'm like, oh, yes. And then when it actually comes in, with the actual distorted lead playing, it's beautiful there. But this song has so many great sections, and it shows the groovy side, the groove of Iron Maiden in the sense of where it's got a great beat. It's not going super fast. It's not going slow. It's in that middle pace range where you can bob your head and enjoy the beat and enjoy what's happening here. And so this song, I think, really shows how all of this really works. Bruce Dickinson, three guitarists, you know, the rest of the guys, it all works. It all fits. And this song, I think, kind of shows that. And the whole entire album does. But Ghost of the Navigator, really, I felt something. I kept listening to the track over and over and over. And I really enjoy how the song came across. And I'm glad that it's one of the first tracks so people can get to it faster and actually enjoy it for what it is. Blood Brothers is the second track I recommend to the highest extent. This track they use this as a dedication for when Ronnie James Dio passed away. Blood Brothers, I feel like, embodies some of the more melodic aspects of all the songs embody some melodic aspect of Iron Maiden throughout all these tracks, but Blood Brothers really takes that more softer route, but yet it still has some heaviness to where, you know, you can enjoy it as a fan of the heavy side of Iron Maiden, but you also, as the fans of the people that enjoy the melodic and slower side of Iron Maiden and the more peaceful Iron Maiden, can enjoy this track as well. It really does hold something special in my heart. The lyrical content, I think, is beautiful, and I enjoy that this song has so many great sections that keeps pushing it along. And I never want the song to end. I keep wanting it to keep continuing. You know, that's what I keep feeling every time I listen to it. The Nomad is another fantastic track. Now, what I want to get to is the thin line between love and hate. Final track on the album at 8 minutes and 26 seconds. I think this song closes this album in a really, really great way. I really enjoy how all of the guys, they come together and they really push the song to the extra limit. I love the guitar solos. They're so beautiful and so shreddy in a way. And I love what Bruce Dickinson does here. He does a fantastic, some fantastic verses, and I think his chorus he does on the song is just epic. And I love that the drumming on this song is very, very catchy as well. And I really enjoy what Nicko did for this track. Now, what I wanted to get to the overall aspect is that Bruce Dickinson shows why he is the voice of Iron Maiden throughout this record, and why I think the time away was needed for him for when he does come back. With this time away, when he does come back, that it will be a mighty return. If he would have stayed with the band, the X Factor would not be the X Factor. Virtual 11, I don't even know, but Brave New World would not have happened. You know, I think Brave New World happened because of the fact that the guys got back together and there's a three-piece guitar going on, and it all works. Adrian Smith's return of the band, I think, is another great addition. You get to see his side of his style of soloing, his style of playing, and it really does, I think, work along with the other two guys. And I feel like that Janick Gers, even though people, you know, say what they want to say, if they love or hate him, but I feel like that all the guys, they all work together. You know, the melodic playing on this album, I think, is just to die for. And it really makes me think to myself that they spent a lot of time, because they really had to figure out who's going to play what, and how are they going to arrange three guitar players. And they did it very, very well. And this this album, as a whole, has a lot more melodic sections than usual. And I think because they're trying to incorporate the fact that they have three guitars, and we're making sure that everyone has their time and they have their place on this album, guitar playing wise. So you can really tell there was a lot of guitar effort that went into this album, especially with the fact that they have three guitarists. Steve Harris on bass, of course, as he did a fantastic job. I really feel like that he really helped him put this album together, you know, because I think he produced, let me double check actually, because it did say there was producer Steve Harris, and he was a part of a producer. So I want to give a special thing to him before we go off into the sound of the players, because this album could have been a complete disaster with Bruce Dickinson coming back. They could have, you know, after Virtual 11, there's no telling what would have happened. But the fact that these songs sound so good, and the fact that they got everything sounding right, and the guitars are not overpowering everything else because there's three guitar players, that it all worked out. And I feel like this is a beautiful record, and I have to say something about that, because obviously this album could have been a complete clusterfuck in a way. It could have really been. Of course, like I've been talking about Bruce Dickinson, but, you know, talking about the band members, he's a legend. I love the fact that he came back, and I love that this is the return that he brought, because he could have easily came back and they could have put out just another Iron Maiden record, but they put out Brave New World, the album that is the return of the Iron Maiden that we love, because it shows the crazy hectic side of Iron Maiden, it shows the beautiful melodic side of Iron Maiden, and Bruce Dickinson is the voice of both those realms that we want from an Iron Maiden record. The slow melodic to the fast and hectic. We need Bruce Dickinson, and I love the fact that he came back, because if they would have went and got another vocalist after Blaze Bayley and didn't get Bruce Dickinson, I don't know, this band could probably be an utter failure, or at least going downhill very fast. All three guitars, Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, Janick Gers. Like I said before, the three guys, they work really well together. The guitar solos, you can tell the differences between the guitar solos, and you can kind of guess who's playing what, and especially when you see these songs live. But you know, the fact that they really work this out to where they can work out three different guitars playing, and their styles are sometimes the styles are similar, lead playing, but sometimes they're completely different. And I like the fact that the rhythm playing on this album is very heavy, and it really does have that classic Iron Maiden sound, and the riffs are especially, some of them are classic Maiden, some of them are more modernized, but I love the fact that there's a blend between those two. So huge respect for those guys to really work that out and work out three guitar players. Steve Harris, like I said, fantastic bass player. He put this album together. He really, basically made these songs fantastic, in a sense, as he gets most writing credits, but his bass playing is to die for, and he continues to he continues to impress me with what he does on bass while the other guys are doing their thing. He really does impress me when you hear what he's playing in the back. Nicko McBrain to finish this off, of course. Nicko is a fantastic drummer. The guy is showing that he is one of the most respected and one of the most skilled drum players. Obviously, he could go with all these albums, very simplistic, and a lot of sections just go very simple and basic, but he adds so much of his style and adds so much soul and so much emotion into what he's playing that you really feel, what he's feeling. You really, if you look at him playing live, it's something to really just behold and just watch, because he is just so good at what he does. And once again, another fantastic thing. So everything worked on this album. Brave New World is the Iron Maiden record I've been waiting for since the X Factor came out. I've been waiting for this album, and this album is finally here, and I love it. I love this album. It is a fantastic record. Like I said, 10 out of 10. Sometimes I think it may be 9.5, but I think a 10 out of 10 really does show how important this album is. It is an album that has so many great things. It's the return of two former band members that people love and respected, and now they're back, and it all works out. This album, it all works out. So that's my review, guys. Brave New World, 10 out of 10. Let me know what you think about this album in the comment section below. I'm really curious to know. So that's really it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you want to see me or more of my stuff, click my name or subscribe to see more. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.